The National Insurance Minister says government won't be held hostage by doctors over NHI. Trouble erupts in the F&M over Howard Johnson's nomination. Meanwhile, their former deputy leader is calling for a party convention. A woman sexually molested during an armed robbery, plus Chris Brown gears up for his track invitational. We've got those stories and a lot more tonight. I'm Kyle Joaquin, and A12 starts now. Topping news tonight, in the face of some local doctors announcing that they will not support national health insurance, National Insurance Minister Shane Gibson said government will not be held hostage by those healthcare providers who do not want to participate in the scheme. Gibson today downplayed a warning from the Consultants Physician Staff Association that its doctors will not sign onto the plan unless its concerns are addressed, indicating that government is prepared and there are doctors who support the plan. Gibson said everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but NHI is the right thing to do, and government, he said, is going to do it. Dana Smith reports.
Despite the Consultants Physician Staff Association warning that it will not sign on for NHI unless its concerns are addressed, National Insurance and Labor Minister Shane Gibson said if doctors feel that making a dollar is more important than saving lives, then that's their right. He said government understands that not everyone will be on board, but this Christie administration will push forward with its plans for universal health care coverage.
And so for those persons who are not on board, that's their right. If they think that making the mighty dollar is more important than saving lives, I can't kill them for that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But our plan is to carry on with universal health care. And so we know for a fact that we will never be able to get everybody on board. But this is the right thing to do, and so we will be doing it.
Gibson was responding to comments from CPSA President Dr. Loxley Monroe, who accused the government of ignoring and marginalizing the views of local doctors on NHI, and warned that association doctors will not sign on to the scheme unless their concerns are addressed. The association took its position during an NHI meeting at Breezes Resort yesterday afternoon. Monroe's comments come amid questions over local doctor support for NHI and whether any doctors have signed on. Well, Gibson today seemed defiant in the face of those concerns, maintaining there are doctors who support the program.
What I'm saying, a handful met at Breezes. Yeah, so why are you saying we don't want to buy in? Because if you have, for instance, 1,000 doctors and 50 of them say we're not going to support it, is that buy-in that you need? I'm saying is we have medical doctors on staff at all of our healthcare facilities. We have medical facilities and healthcare providers who said to us publicly and privately they support it. And so all I'm saying is it's each individual's right to support or not support. And whether they support or don't support, we are introducing national health insurance.
The CPSA is comprised of just over 90 senior physicians who provide consultancy services for the Public Hospitals Authority. According to Monroe, most of the physicians are also a part of the Medical Association of the Bahamas, which speaks for the majority of doctors in the country. In his comments yesterday, Monroe noted the association's concerns include the model of care for delivery of primary care, the need for health system strengthening, as well as general confusion surrounding NHI implementation. Monroe said, if the government is not hearing what we are saying, senior physicians are not going to sign on to implementation. And if you take out all senior physicians, then what quality of care are you delivering? But Gibson told reporters this morning government will not be held hostage. He said, be assured that any healthcare provider or doctor who tells us publicly we're not supporting it, we're not going to participate, we don't hold it against them, but we prepare for that.
What we will not allow anybody to do is hold us hostage. And so if you have healthcare providers who are telling you now we're not going to participate, why should we not prepare for it? They're telling you we're not going to participate, and we must just roll back and decide that we're not going to prepare. And so if all of the providers give access to everybody as we anticipate, then we would have less of a role to play. If we have sufficient providers who say to us, we're going to, like the ones who met at Breezes, who tell us in advance they're not going to support it, then we have to prepare for that.
When probed as to government's preparedness, Gibson did not go into details. The CPSA's latest comments on NHI come as other private sector stakeholders have complained about government's inadequate consultations with stakeholders. But Gibson said that's not the case, and government's doors are open.
If anybody knows Prime Minister Perry Gladstone Christie, he is huge on consultation, huge on it. And he made it clear that nothing will happen unless you have widespread consultation with all of the stakeholders. And so for those who have an issue about anything we're discussing, our doors are open. All you have to do is notify us. You don't have to go through the press. If you think the press is the only way, then that's fine. You can do that as well. Because whenever we see things in the press, we want to make sure and get on it right away. And so we don't hold it against them for going to the press. But the important thing is we want to make sure that at the end of the day, that the primary focus is on creating a healthy Bahamas through universal health care.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
Well, there appears to be a fallout in the Free National Movement over party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis' decision to allow Howard Johnson to run in South Beach after reports that Johnson delivered an ultimatum that if he couldn't get the South Beach nomination, then he would not accept any other nomination from the party. Today, Johnson said he never gave an ultimatum, but only a clarification. Simone Davis reports.
Johnson denied the fact that he gave Minnis an ultimatum while stating that he only made it clear that if he was not selected to run in South Beach, then he would much rather play the background. He said it would have only been an ultimatum if he had threatened to cross the floor if he was not selected to run in South Beach.
If we want to, we can pull up what an ultimatum means, but like I said, the strict definition of an ultimatum is, Dr. Minnis, if you don't give me South Beach, I'm joining the PLP. That's an ultimatum.
Johnson, who ran for the party in South and Central Eleuthera back in 2012, said he heard the noise in the market that he would not be selected to run in South Beach. And as far as he's concerned, he did the honorable thing by writing a letter to his leader last September indicating his position.
I didn't get this from Dr. Minnis. It ramblings inside and out of the party, oh, you're not going to get this, you're not going to get that. And I just made it abundantly clear. So it wasn't an ultimatum. I specifically said in my letter that despite my decision, I remain committed to the Free National Movement and will continue to carry out the work and functions given to me by the party chairman on behalf of the party. So I was doing the honorable thing.
The fact that Johnson was announced as a candidate for South Beach did not sit well with many. As for the party's Women's Association President Moni Gomez, who served in South Beach for several years, sometime between last September when Minnis received Johnson's letter and earlier this month, Minnis' decision to place Gomez as the standard bearer in South Beach was reversed. Johnson said he doesn't think she should feel left out in the cold, noting that not because a candidate contested a seat in a previous election cycle means they automatically gain the right to contest that seat in the next election cycle.
Nobody's taking over anybody's hard work. The associations at the local level are responsible for determining who they want their candidates to be, not because you've been in a particular area, one election cycle means that you're automatically a shoo-in to go there again, particularly if you were not a winning candidate.
Last week, PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts lashed out at the F&M for the ratification of its first crop of candidates for the next election. Roberts called them a political scrap gang, stating that the PLP is amazed at the choice of hapless, perennial losers and visionless personalities ratified by the F&M. F&M Chairman Michael Pintard then defended his party's candidates, stating that they are more than capable of doing their jobs. Johnson echoed Pintard's sentiments, adding that the only losers are the Bahamian people under the leadership of the Christie administration, asserting that Roberts' opinion matters to no one.
Bradley Roberts, I think the 8 of us, Bradley Roberts' opinion doesn't matter because he doesn't pay any bills for any of us, and he doesn't define who we are as individuals or as politicians. As far as calling us losers and failures, well, I think the losers right now, nearly 4 years after the last general election, would be the Bahamian people. They are losing because what they promised to the Bahamian people in giving them the mandate to govern has not been delivered by any stretch of the imagination.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, speaking of the increasing tension within the FNM, the party's former deputy leader, Brent Simonet, is recommending that all scores will be settled if Dr. Minnis calls a convention. He said it would give everyone wishing to run for a position one final time to do so, and if they lose, rally behind whomever emerges as leader.
I'm easy. Have a convention, and whoever wants to be leader, run. PLP have the same problem. They were lucky they had a hurricane. They put their convention off.
The party has had 2 one-day conventions since its defeat in 2012. In the most recent, Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner took a chance giving up her deputy leader seat to contest Minnis. She lost that bid 3-1. But since then, the divide in the FNM appears to have only grown, with there being clear supporters of both Minnis and Butler Turner. Simonet said he's seen this play out before, and the only way to settle it once and for all would be to have a convention.
In view of the general hype that the newspapers are doing with this, the prudent thing to do would be to have a convention, settle this leadership issue, if there is an issue, once and for all, and move forward into the next election.
The PLP was set to have its convention last October, but delayed it following the devastation of Hurricane Joaquin. Simonet said conventions are healthy practices for political organizations, and that Christie nor Minnis should be afraid of a challenge on the convention floor.
If Mr. Christie's scared of losing the election, scared of losing his convention, that's his problem. If Dr. Minnis is scared of losing the leadership, that's what a convention is for. If the party, the FNM party, want a different leader, someone can come forward and nominate, or Dr. Minnis can nominate and win, or Dr. Minnis can nominate and the other person wins. It doesn't matter to me.
Montague MP Richard Lightbourne is quoted in today's Nassau Guardian calling for FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis to live up to his word and have a convention. According to Simonet, several surveys have shown that the FNM would more than likely emerge the victors in the next general election. But aside from all that, he says a convention is the best way to start an election campaign.
There's no better way to open a campaign or begin the process of a campaign with having a convention. You put your platform forward, you rally your troops, you razzle and tazzle, and everything the conventions do. As you say, you show your new candidates in their full glory, and you get ready for a convention. There's no question there should be a convention.
The Nassau Guardian is reporting that controversial Anglican Archdeacon I. Renfrewly Brown has been removed from his post by Anglican Bishop Leish Boyd. A source familiar with the matter suggests Brown was notified by letter that his removal will take effect February 1st. It's believed the action stemmed from comments Brown made at the funeral of businessman A. Bismarck Coakley, in which he faulted the Prime Minister for showing grave disrespect to the church by speaking longer than the 3 minutes allotted the other speakers. It's believed Brown later refused to apologize for his comments. When contacted last night for comment, Anglican Bishop Leish Boyd said he was not in the position to speak on the matter. He's currently out of town.